Hi, I'm Kim from thatsweetraw.com. Welcome. Today I want to start out by talking about why you're not practicing as much as you wish that you would. And I want to take you on a journey. I want you to lean into the idea that singing practice is like taking your voice on a date. Now, bear with me. I'm going to read you an excerpt from an email that I sent my email list. If you're not on it and you want to get gems from me in your inbox, I will leave a link here so that you can sign up. But I'm going to read you a little bit from what I sent out last week, and that this explains exactly what I'm talking about here. You wouldn't want to go on dates with someone who's snidely remarking about how terrible you are and how you're never doing anything right. So why are you surprised that you don't practice singing on the regular? Most of us have been doing the equivalent of taking our voice to a cheap diner with poor flickering lighting and an indescribable sour smell coming from the kitchen, which is often practicing in uninspiring, confined spaces or places that you don't feel entirely comfortable being heard. We've told them they can only order one appetizer and can under no circumstances have a glass of red wine or a cocktail, which is kind of the equivalent of keeping our practice sessions very restrictive and full of shoulds. And then during the date, we tell them they don't look as beautiful as they used to, and we wish their personality was less eccentric and more pleasing, which is like always focusing on the negative aspects of our voice and overanalyzing every note for what needs to change. Sound familiar? And then we beat ourselves up for not wanting to relive that date or that practice session over again the next day. So most of us are creating this super serious, high pressure environment and berating our voices when they don't behave in the way that we think that they should. And this is not our fault per se. I mean, everything I was told as a young singer was about super serious, deep practice. We had strict do's and don'ts, and there was no room for play. And in fact, to be a good disciplined singer and to achieve maximum progress, I was told that singing practice had to look a very certain way, a very strict, rigid regime. And I bet that you have some rules that you've been abiding by too. The problem with this is that those rules suffocate all the magic that should be coming out of connecting with our voice. Like most of us, we're drawn to singing because of the intimacy that it brings. Intimacy with ourselves, our bodies, our voice, our emotions, and intimacy with others, which is being seen and heard in our expression. Singing is a beautiful, expressive, alive, creative practice. And yet we've been told that the right way to practice is highly intellectualized and analytical. We're then focusing on doing the right things physically and listening for the result of that. And as much as focused repetition and learning in this way does move the needle on our progress, we actually then practice less often because of the way it makes us feel. We often feel frustrated or drained, heavy, upset, defeated. So if you have been telling yourself that you're not practicing enough because you're a lazy sloth and obviously aren't dedicated enough, please stop. It's because the idea of practicing feels heavy in your bones and that you can't bear the thought of feeling like a failure again. That is so different than being lazy and not dedicated enough. The trick to practicing at least double the amount that you're practicing now is making the idea of practicing feel lighter. Curating a singing practice that feels nourishing, exciting, touching and interesting instead of monotonous, rigid, and one that breeds self-doubt. So I'm asking you, what are the rules about practice that you've been told or believed to be true? What have you previously thought practice must be that if you let go of that idea would actually make you want to practice more often? Can you swap those scales that bore you to tears for sections of songs that you love using the same approach or same technical tools? Can you let yourself start with a song that you adore before working on the one that's challenging you? Can you take some time to drop into your body with some stretching or breath work before getting into the deep practice? Do you feel more like working on connecting with the genuine emotion and expression of the song today versus furrowing your brow as you hone your technique? Can you listen to your body as to what your energy levels feel like on any given day? And perhaps choose the softer ballad instead of forcing yourself to work on your belt when you actually have nothing left in the tank. Your relationship with your voice doesn't need to be a tumultuous one anymore, with your self-worth hanging on by a thread. It can become lighthearted, fulfilling, and truly intimate. But unfortunately, nothing's going to change until your old idea of practice, or dating, is rewritten. So if you've been nodding your head along to this video and would love to learn more about this with me, I've created a 3-week journey called Practice, a Love Affair, that I'd love to invite you into. So I'll add the link below this video so you can check it out. And its sole purpose is to transform the way that you practice and connect with your voice from something that you tend to avoid at all costs, that just sits on your to-do list day after day, not being checked off, into a whirlwind romance that can stand the test of time. So we'll be untangling from the old stories of what practice must be and how your voice must show up each day and what each note means about your talent. We'll be softening those sharp edges that actually aren't getting you any closer to those goals that you're clinging to anyway. And we'll be weaving in the deeper technical practice in a way that's going to foster curiosity and experimentation instead of frustration and defeat. That is so important. So we kick off on Monday, and if you want to join or find out more, as I said, head to the link below this video. And as always, if you have any questions, reflections, or thoughts that you want to share with me, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out. I absolutely love hearing from you. I hope you have a beautiful week, and please start infusing some romance and softness into your practice sessions from today. Take care.